Chris was referring to, and then the defending world and Olympic champion Chen Rulin, China in third, Prokopchuk of Ukraine in fourth. So we think medals is probably going to come down to a fight between them. But if anybody makes a mistake, you've got the likes of Emilia Kozad, a new diver from the USA, doing very well in this competition. And Mei Nagakawa of Japan, very solid performer, but she's alongside Tatsumi, both Japanese divers coming through very consistently indeed. So that's your top 18 coming out for this semi-final. Place in the final in the offing. But, well, one thing's for certain, they're going to have to up their scoring, that's for sure, to make top 12. But, Chris, I suspect a miss will be fatal in this particular phase.
Yeah, we now have the best 18 divers in the world, and it's going to be tough to make that top 12 spot. We have 13 returning in this semi-final from the previous World Championships. And like I said, we have 8 divers that have been in Olympic Games. 4 of those have been finalists. And the ones that haven't retired, like Chen Rulin, are up against someone we had only seen 4 months and 9 days ago. Sea of China, who's leading at the moment.
Well, a cracking welcome for the divers as they come out into the dive area. We only have full-on introductions when it comes to the final. Tori Lamp is the luckiest of the divers in this top 18, I would say. Really didn't dive well over the 5 rounds, but in the last round, a couple of competitors inside the top 18, Villa Kormas of Hungary in particular, missed their dive by a long way, and that's allowed Lamp to make it into this next stage. Let's hope she takes full advantage of that. Then we come through the draw, Sarah Barrow and Tonya Couch of Great Britain in there, along with Mei Nagakawa and Takashumi. And then China making it another nation with 2 divers in this top 18.
Morocco, the country that travels within you.
Welcome back. Judges being introduced very briefly. And straightforward execution here. No synchronisation involved as we head into the individual competitions. And China, hot favourites to get 2 divers through in the top 12, but Great Britain and Japan also with a very strong contingent here, Chris. So we could see 6 of those places taken by just 3 nations, and then it's a bun fight for the rest.
Yeah, talking about the British divers, we've got Sarah Barrow and Tonya Couch, Olympic finalists. Normally synchro, but also very good individually. And the Japanese too. We have Nagakawa, who has made an Olympic semi-finals last year, but was an Olympic finalist back in 2008.
Yeah, there's Tori Lamp, 18th position, just to make it through. 2 other athletes on the same score as her, so she beat them by just a marginal part of a point. The semi-final of the women's 10-metre platform here in Barcelona about to get underway. 18 competitors through from 36. And, there was a bit of carnage, I can tell you, in the prelim round. Lost a number of decent competitors at world level. Noemi Batki, one of the key names going, so Italy have no representation at the semi-final stage. USA have 1 diver, and she's going to start with a very interesting dive, Chris Snow. This complex arm stand, the toughest dive we'll see in the competition, is first up.
Yeah, 3.6 degree of difficulty. So it's a back arm stand, that's difficult enough. Then she's going to do a double somersault, and in the middle of that she's going to do 2.5 twists. I actually think it should be about 4.0, but it's 3.6.
I was going to say, it's not easy to say, let alone do. Here we go. Nice confident up into that handstand. And that's pretty much the same as we saw from her in the prelims.
Yeah, but a very good effort. In the prelims, she went 51 points. She may squeeze a few extra points in the semi-final. Just a little untidy with the feet, not quite getting her hands together as she goes through the water. Max Goggins, one of the coaches. And that's her coach there, former Olympic diver, Dave Parrington.
Oh, there we go. Well, you bring the high tariff into a competition, you get close to the dive, and you will come away with a decent score. That's a superb start from Victoria Lamp. Brittany Broban, all sorts of problems yesterday in the 1 metre springboard final, and I think just some of that has carried through into the start of the 10 metres. Olympic medalist Broban from Australia, this is her favoured discipline, but only just made this semi. And that's a nice start. In terms of iconic sporting views, it doesn't really get that much better than this Barcelona pool.
Divers love diving here in this outdoor pool. Look at that fantastic view. And a fantastic jump as well. Broban really went for that. Just a small kick over. Much better than the prelims. Only scored, well, she was right down on 45.9, and it's going to score a lot higher than that.
Yeah, 56.70. Solid start from Brit, as she's known to the Aussie dive team. Now, there were 2 or 3 divers that got through to this semi-final stage without any drama whatsoever, and although Krasnoshlik of Ukraine was down around that 18 mark, it was a very solid, consistent performance from her. Dive that we're going to see quite a bit of now in this first round. Forward 3.5 in point position. And just let that one wash over. Very splashy entry from Ghana.
Good start though. Got the jump up in the air, maybe a little bit forward, but here you see her pop up in the air. First somersault board level, second somersault about 9 metres. Looking at the water from about 5.5 metres. And as you said, Simon, just washing the dive over, not locking out enough on the end, and she's lost about 10 points because of that.
Well, that's a shame, because she had plenty of time there to line that up. So just a bit of inexperience from the young Ukraine diver. Same dive now from Germany's Maria Kurjo. And Kurjo, another one of those that came through without any dramas. But can she make top 12? That's the question. That's okay.
Yeah, it was better than the prelims, but she definitely has a problem on the end of the platform, landing with the body forward and the arms down. Here her arms should be behind her. And it's spinning down to the water. Goes through vertical, but we did see some of the splash being thrown up.
Marginally better than Krasnoshlik's effort. There's the 10 marks that Ghana Krasnoshlik was missing out on, so Kurjo's got them. Laura Marino was up and down like a yo-yo, but eventually settled in the top 18 and then managed to stay there with a very good last round dive. She starts with a 2.8 degree of difficulty for this inward 2.5 somersaults. Very nice pike and a very nice start.
Yeah, she got that bounce up in the air, working the ankles very, very well. Stood there a long time, but once she's in the air, it's good. Like the pike position. Oh, just lining up underneath her face, and that causes the feet to just move a little as she goes through the water. The rest of the dive was good. Went 56 in the prelims, so she's done better now.
All the divers so far much sharper than we saw from the prelim performances. Roselyne Fillon starts with a forward 3.5, the same as Kim and then Ozoko, so North Korea followed by Mexico. 3 dives in a row, the same. Good chance to compare once again.
And she has a weird head position as she spins around. We might see it on the replay. Her head sort of does a circle on the first 2 somersaults.
Yeah, you don't catch it sideways on. Great entry from Filion.
Yeah, that was a good dive. She really put it in the prelims. It was her first dive off. She was very nervous. I'm not going to show it from the front, but there, that was the jump that she didn't get in the prelims. A little bit bent knees in the pike. I'm not sure that the judges will pick that up because they're only in the air for a second and a half. But she'll definitely take that dive.
Some athletes do have a genuine problem with that twisting movement, and it causes an issue with the inner ear, so sometimes develop a head movement to counteract that, and they think that's what Filion does. Well, it works for her. Can't see it side on, so not a problem for the judges. Kim Jin-ok then. Good solid performance from the North Korean diver to get through. And in terms of top 12, that's a super dive.
Yeah, Filion went 72 points. This is about the same. She almost stops, though, in the end of the platform and then jumps up in the air. Just watching the feet, not too close to the end of the board. So I reckon that'll just sneak into the 70s as well. Good technique. I prefer the arm position, grabbing around the back of the knees.
Yeah, 73.50, so just sneaks ahead of Filion. This is going to be a heck of a shootout, I think, this afternoon for a place in the final, tomorrow's final. Alejandra Orozco started strongly this morning, then had some real problems mid-phase, but recovered well. Mexico, minus their taliswoman, Paula Espinosa today, will be pinning their hopes on Orozco.
Yeah, it's a real shame. Like the jump. So looking at the water here, throwing towards the water, but comes out too early, lifts the chest up at that point, and the dive shot drops very short of vertical, grabbing the hands, but definitely the wrong angle, and should be marked down at least 2 points from the judges, just from the entry point of view.
Well, sometimes the coaches just can't hide their feelings. 43.50, and Orozco off to a poor start. Britain and Sarah Barrow. Arm stand option, so we saw Victoria Lamp of the USA use the arm stand. Can be a little problematic in the breeze that picks up in the afternoon at this pool in Barcelona. But that's solidly in. She always has such control on the arm stand as Barrow.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of wind, as you mentioned. See it in the flags.
Oh, beautiful start from Sarah Barrow. Arm stand was fantastic and got that dive down very well.
Yeah, that was much more like it. She missed it just slightly in the prelims, but this is a better effort. Just the feet moving around, but she'll take that entry. Slightly late pushing off. She's already horizontal at this point. You see the real strain in her face. So much effort to get the twist going. Good dive.
Yes, indeed. 72 marks from Barrow. Betancourt for Venezuela as we hit the halfway mark of round one in this women's 10-metre platform semi-final. Final tomorrow. Top 12 go through. 2.5 somersault then for Betancourt. And that's a nice start. Very good entry.
Good effort there. Slight problem with the tricep on the left arm. That's why it's all strapped up. Good pike. Looks at the water. Slightly uneven there on the reaching for the water. Only small movement they're going over. Score well.
63, nice and solid from Maria.
Yeah, it's 5 points more than the prelim, so that's okay.
Tony Couch has been a little way down the steps on the other platform, but we'll be aware that her compatriot Sarah Barrow got a good start. Not only her compatriot, but her synchro partner as well. She'll take that as a start. So the British pair very sharp in this semi-final.
Yeah, it really is. And look at the start of this. bends the knees, jumps up into the twist. Now she's finishing really high, gives her a chance to lock out. Slightly untidy with her feet, but that should be up into the 70s because it's a high degree of difficulty, 3.2.
Yes, indeed, 72 marks for Tonya Couch. So everybody just raising the bar coming into this semi-final. Fuka Tatsumi alongside Mei Nagakawa. Really great performance from both Japanese divers. And she opens with a forward 3.5. That's solid enough.
She's disappointed with the takeoff. As she landed, because it was a slow throw, her body pitches forward. She's now travelling forward. She knows it, and it's hard to pull into that pike when you're moving away from the board. And that's why she rolled over on the end. You can see she's just travelling probably about a metre out too far.
Coach and diver just confirming with each other that they know what went wrong there. 55.50. So a little bit of pressure already on Tatsumi. And Mei Nakagawa, very consistent through all 5 rounds this morning. Three countries with 2 divers in this semi-final: Japan, China and Great Britain. Very nicely done. Well, we do like the way Nakagawa dives. She uses that experience from her previous Olympic time that has helped her move forward internationally.
Yeah, look at that. That's the tightest pike that we've seen at the moment. She's opted to keep to the pike position. Well, she's got her face right down in between those shins. That was a 10 pike.
And a 63 score overall, so solid start from Mei. Now, this was the surprise package, Chris, from our prelims this morning. Amelia Kozad. In fact, USA with 2 divers in. My apologies to Lamp and Kozad.
That's right. I remember Lamp just squeezed in there in 18th place. But Kozad here qualified in 5th. This was a good opening dive for her. She went 70 points on it.
Oh, just a little short, but overall the impression of the dive was very controlled.
Yeah, got the jump up in the air. That's important. The judges are looking for that. They're looking at 3 bits: the takeoff there, and then the flight through the air, and then finally the entry. And just slightly off on the entry, but the rest of the dive technique's good. Probably just under 70 points because of that entry.
She definitely wasn't quite as tight with the entry on that occasion. Still waiting for the mark to come up. There we go. 67.20. That's absolutely fine. Now then, into our big 4. We start with Lulia Prokopchuk, then it goes China, Chen Rulin, then Malaysia with Pang, China again with Se. And the interesting factor is they all do the same dive, this forward 3.5 in the pike position. That's a super entry. She holds quite a long way down, doesn't she, in that pike, but it gives a very nice visual impression in the air.
Yeah, you see on the replay that as she throws, she then reaches not behind the knee, but to the calf muscles. And that's unusual. Most of the divers grab behind the back of the knee, but beautiful feet extension. She only had 1 dive that went 70 points in the prelims. This wasn't one of them, but she's got it now.
73.50. Well done, Lulia. Good start for Ukraine. A bit of a pick-me-up after Kvasha and Prigorov's performance in yesterday's 3-metre springboard synchro. Now then, defending world champion. Let's see if she can pick her game up in this semi. I think that's going to be okay, but still, Chris, I know what you're going to say. She's not quite there with her finishes.
No, not at all. And also, her run-up was just slightly different. Nearly stops here, then jumps up in the air. You just see the knees could be locked out a fraction more. Quite lackadaisical, that reach. It'll be in the 70s, but she's quite capable of 80s and maybe even a perfect score of 90.
Generally, 70.5. Once again, it's solid. And the mistakes from China are marginal. Yeah, well done to Pandalela Rinong Pang. Getting in between the 2 Chinese divers in the last round. And solid, very nice forward 3.5s we're seeing here.
Well, Chen Rulin went 70 points. This is a better 3.5. It was a worse in the prelim, but look at this. Up in the air. That is very good. Actually, the same pace as Prokopchuk, grabbing down on the calf muscles. Well, to improve it, of course, she needs a little tighter pike, but overall, I thought that's well into the 70s dive.
Animated Malaysian coaching squad, 76.50, and that's why they are animated. Difficult to say how much she actually feels pressure. This 14-year-old looks pretty confident and comfortable. Forward 3.5 to finish our first round. Easy as that.
But there's not much of her, and I think that's why there's no splash. Small little problem at the beginning, just jumps forward, but from here on, tight pike. Now she's thinking about the entry already. That's even tighter pike than Chen Rulin. See the power on the throat. Great acrobatic abilities this 14-year-old's got. That's why she's ranked #1 in the world at the moment.
Super diving, 76.50 to take top spot. That's how things look after the first round of diving. Tied for top spot, Pang and Sit. So Malaysia's still going well against China. Victoria Lam managed to nail her big dive, so she's in third for now. But I think we're going to get a fascinating contest developing. Remember, it's top 12. Go through to our final tomorrow. And at the moment, it's Nakagawa down there in joint position for 12th, alongside Maria Betancourt of Venezuela. Wow, look at that.
That'll keep the pigeons at bay.
They're not easy to film, I can tell you. Trying to get a bird in the air and in slow-mo, that's a pretty good effort. So the Eagles are trying to land here in Barcelona, and that is pretty good from one of the diving Eagles through to this semi-final.
Great effort, 3.5 somersaults tucked, so it's down on degree of difficulty by 0.4. But she missed the entry, but not this time. Entry in the prelims, but not this time. Goes from the tuck into the pike, controls the rotation, and good effort for a second round dive.
Well, so much better from Tori Lamp. She came out poolside ahead of this final, laughing and smiling and waving to the crowd. And, well, a little bit of disparity there from the judges, but up into the 50s with that score.
Yeah, they went from a 6.5 to an 8. That's unusual.
Brittany Broban, certainly on the evidence of the first round, you would suggest Brittany has maybe put the demons of yesterday behind her. Much more aggressive attacking dive from her. Olympic medalist, remember, Broban, stormed onto the scene last summer. No, a miss. I spoke too soon.
Yeah, problem on the triple. She kicks the feet out at the diving board, or towards the column of the diving board, and then can't get the dive around. Right here, out too early, and just stays in a pike as she runs out of room. Well, she had an average dive, only 56 on the first round, and now she's down to 35 points.
Broban will be struggling to make the semi with that score.
Morocco, the country that travels within you.
Welcome back. Just in time to see the slow-mo of Krasnozhlik of Ukraine. Give Ukraine divers and aquatic team in to support here. And they're getting right behind Ghana. 60.80, good solid scoring from her, but because of that suppressed DD that she has across the 5 rounds, she's going to have to be absolutely spot on to make it. Courgeot, steady start from the German. Handstand or arm stand dive in this next round at 3.2, so one of the trickier arm stands we will see. Just struggling to get straight on that. Didn't really hold it. And missed.
Yeah,
Courgeot under pressure.
She'll score low there. The problem is that when you don't get your ankles right up and you're in a completely straight arm stand, you just wrap yourself around the diving board. She's done that there. And of course, then you finish low. Not much time to grab your hands. Technically poor start causes a poor entry.
57.60. That is not as bad as it could have been, so Courgeot's got away with one there. And Marino even more strapping than she had on this morning. Arm stand dive for her. This wasn't too good in the prelims either.
That doesn't help with the 2.4. He got 56 points. Squeezed a couple of sevens out of the judges. One leggy kick up. Why she's strapped up.
Oh, straight over again. Exactly what she did in the prelims. She can't hold that arm stand. I suspect, Chris, that's got something to do with the strapping that we're seeing around the elbow. She just can't lock out and stay there.
Yeah, she's definitely not confident enough on the arm stand. And it's hard when you're outside and the wind has picked up a little bit.
Good entry.
50s. Yeah, but it was just being the 50s.
And that's really all she can score with that if she's going to fail to hold the arm stand. So Marino putting herself under a bit of pressure. Yeah. Should be top 12, and in all honesty, should be competing for a medal. Already got a medal from this World Championships with partner Perfetto.
Now, this is a dive that I didn't know how she went down vertical in the prelims, because it wasn't much jump. She needs more jump, or she's going to have to rely on guessing when to come out.
It's much better on elevation, but again, same sort of thing, Chris. She's just decided when it's time to come out, and she's come out with aggression and got away with it.
Yeah, I mean, she does the jump, but it is a slow spin. Tucks open, she's on the top of the kneecaps there, but she kicks and just quickly reaches back. 72.
Kicks and rips all in one movement. 72.60. Well done to Roslin. She's got some good dives to come as well.
That's exactly the same score as what she got on her front 3.5.
There you go, it's consistency. That's what very often counts in these competitions. Virtually impossible to get in touch with the medals if you haven't dived 5 decent rounds. Kim Ji-nok then with her second round dive. And that's over, so Kim will get a bit of pressure from this score.
Maybe a bit more than the 51 that she scored earlier today. Just moving away from the platform, tries to kick out and lock out in time, but hands hit the wrong part of the water, so we see the dive moving just a little over. 3.2 degree of difficulty. She might get some 60 points out of this dive. It'll be better to have the feet together in the tuck. Didn't like the tuck position.
65.60. Not a shocker by any means. Top 12 for a place in the final is what these divers are looking at. So mid-60s is fine. Orozco. Bottom spot for a potential medal contender as well. We could see some more big names going out in this semi-final stage. It's very confidently into that arm stand. Not that straight. But overall, that was fine from Orozco.
It's funny, we'll see on the replay that after she flicks off, she'll be going into the twist, but then as she now gets into the pike, her feet completely flatten and then point again. It's a shame she did that.
62.40. The recovery work begins for Alejandra. Barrett just gets rid of the chamois.
The divers use the chamois to take off the excess water from their legs. Otherwise, doing a dive like Sarah's going to do, inwards 3.5, you could slip out.
Brilliant opening round and still finds herself in 6th place, so just shows how good you have to be to make the final here in Barcelona. And just about got that entry in. It was going over, but she's done a great save on that.
She has the uncanny ability to move over and still make hardly any splash. This is a fast spin, double finishing very high, triple high as well. Look at that, she was moving over and a great entry. So she'd be looking for another dive with 70 points. Smiling.
Why not? 76.80. Very good from Barrow. So Maria Betancourt, back 2.5. Currently on the bubble at 12. But I think we're going to see a fair amount of movement around that area during the course of these 5 rounds. And a lovely float out, just a shame those feet came apart.
Yeah, this is the way to start a back 2.5. Look how confident she is when she swings her arms. Swinging that up and then gets the jump and then into the pike, spots the board, spots the water, but they're just out a fraction too early. And then she knew it, she realised it, and her body just goes loose. We see the feet come apart. Good start, average entry.
62.35 though, that's fine for Betancourt. Very high-class semi-final developing here in the women's 10-metre platform. Absolutely no room for manoeuvre. And with each round, the dives just seem to be getting bigger and bigger. Scores getting better and better. Tanya Couch has got to try and live with that. A second round dive. And the British pair going along very well indeed. That's a classic Tanya Couch rip entry. That's what she's famous for.
Yeah, that was a brilliant kick out, very fast. This is what she missed in the prelim. She came out too early. Here, she just punches for the water. No pike out there. And she nailed it. Could she get close to 80 points?
What a good response from both coaches and team. Yeah, look at that. 83.20. Semi-final, not the final, but that's a great way to warm up for it. So Couch and Barrow putting on a really good performance here. That makes it tougher for the likes of Tatsumi, who missed in her first round dive. And in the second, I'm afraid, that's a big one as well.
Oh, she caught that right across the top of her stomach. That was painful. Well, this is a tough dive to do. We talked about it earlier, where you can sometimes catch your feet on the board, but she got a good jump, great pike. She just didn't see the entry at all. Her face was right across the top of her legs. She just guessed the out, and she guessed it wrong.
30.45. Tatsumi's day, I would suggest, is done. What a shame for her. That leaves Mei Nakagawa trying to fly the flag. Joint 12th position along with Betancourt of Venezuela. Just over the 60 marks from Betancourt. And Nagakawa will be there, or thereabouts.
Again, another diver just not holding the entry, where the top of the dive is just right. Perfect jump here, upright. The dive moves up before now dropping to the water. Triple is really high, but just can't stop the rotation. It's a real shame for her. That would have been another high 70 dive if she hadn't lost the entry.
Oh dear, 46.50. Well, she has been hammered for that one, so Japan having a real problem in this round. Kozan trying to emulate her teammate Victoria Lamp, who's made a good start to this semi-final. I do like this start to the arm stand.
It's the side kick up. It's quite tricky. That's good though.
Well, again, this was a dive she had a little bit of a problem with in the prelims, but just seemed to get that start tighter.
Yeah, that's right. Just waiting too long to flick off. Slightly better than the prelims, but still just can't control the rotation. If she'd flicked off slightly earlier, she would have finished higher, but not been spinning so fast.
57.60. Prokopchuk will do the same dive as both the Chinese divers, Chen Rulin and Xi Yaji. With 3.5 somersaults, and Prokopchuk remaining in 4th position, which is where she qualified through from the prelims. Doesn't seem to be rotating particularly quickly today, Prokopchuk. It was a problem for her in the prelims as well.
Yeah, it's the technique with the throw. She throws and her legs draw up in front of her. So although she seems very springy with the jump, it's not moving as fast as she needs to do. And that's why it's under 60 points.
Yeah, no problem on the pike with the spinning, but the tuck has been the issue. So Prokopchuk, well, she'll be fine with that score. But in terms of a medal tomorrow, she'll need to tighten that up. Chen Rulin then, the defending champion. Double Olympic gold medalist in Beijing and London for the 10-metre platform and 10-metre synchro platform.
Currently in 9th.
Ooh, and again, just that little problem with the entry. So Chen is definitely not as sharp as she would like to be.
Yeah, this is a dive that she's actually scored perfect scores on, which has been 96 points. And you'll see that she's way off that mark. Looks at the water and just hesitates before grabbing her hands. And that's why you see the splash thrown up.
72 marks then, still solid. Still no problem for a qualification place. Well, Pang, how long can she keep this sensational run of diving going? Two and a half for her second round dive at 2.9. Expect to see a rip entry on this one.
This is a tricky one.
Oh, and again, she did it in the prelims, didn't she, Chris? That out is so good to watch, but unfortunately, she's just, well, getting the wrong point to come out.
Yeah, she's just making the choice not to do a 3.5 because this is normally spot on for her. And then you can again see that she misses her hands on the entry. She grabs, but then they come apart, and then the big splash is thrown up. That's a miss for her. That's a dive that she can go mid-70s on.
Well, shame for Pang. Just a bit of pressure coming home to roost. That's it, to finish things off. Same dive as we saw from Prokopchuk and Chen. So she really does have a chance to kick on here because neither of them found the entry. And she hasn't either. That one's washed over.
It's the same as Chen Rin, about the same amount over, but just a little less splash. Chen scored 72. This will be a similar score. Not so easy on the tuck position there. Good pike. Just missing the spot on the water. That is a very good tuck. Early into it, spinning fast. Oh, it's below Chen Rin.
Goodness me, 67.20. We said it was going to be tight, this one, and that's exactly what's happening. Tonya Couch and Sarah Barrow, 1 and 2 for Great Britain. Phenomenal diving through the first 2 rounds from them. Filion Calendar makes it 3. Chen and Si, the 2 Chinese superstars, not on the podium at the moment, although this is just the semi-final. Guizhou on the bubble then at 12. Kozad and Lamp for the USA comfortably inside top 12, and Krasnoshlik drops outside the top contenders for a place in the final.
Holidays?
No.
Business?
No.
Friends?
No.
Why are you so far away from home?
I have no idea.
Welcome back, just enjoying some action replays of round 2, a second round that saw both Chinese divers out of the top 3, and they were replaced by Tonya Couch and Sarah Barrow of Great Britain and Rosalind Fillon of Canada. But it's not about top 3 in this semi-final, it's about top 12, who is going to make it through. And at the moment, Maria Korja of Germany is in that rather precarious position. We're going to lose 6 divers at the end of this round.
Yeah, just looking at the scores, and Tonya Couch has something like a 11-point lead over Fillon of Canada and 12-point lead over C of China.
Once again, Tori, as she's known to the American team. Tori out to get things underway in round 3. And that, unfortunately, the worst of her dives. That will put pressure on her for the remainder of the contest.
Yeah, she's doing the throw action, but she didn't get the jump up off the ankle or the ankle snap. And here, because of the tight or looseness of the tuck, she's very wobbly going through water.
Oh, the legs all over the shop, yes. 52.80. As we said at the top of our coverage today, a miss is probably going to be fatal.
Yeah, I reckon to get into the final, the top 12 will go over 300 points, which is an average of 60 points.
Brittany Broban, big miss in the last round for the Olympic silver medalist, and I can tell you she doesn't look at all happy at the moment. I don't think she's come to this championships with quite the right frame of mind. And that little problem yesterday when she clipped the 1 metre springboard with her feet on the way round, that definitely got to her. So arm stand in round 3. That was a good arm stand, Chris, but again, just that impression of a diver simply falling off the board towards the water, which is always a problem with the arm stand dives.
Yeah, a little bit sluggish with the push. Again, waiting too long. The divers in their arm stand should just use their body the same if they were standing to do a dive. You would bend your knees and jump. The same with your arms. You would have to bend your arms, the elbows come out, and jump off your hands for a good arm stand.
Massive demand on the triceps to do that, and as you can see, Broban with heavy strapping around the tricep area. That's a nice look. Good first round dive. Not quite there with her second round. Not bad, but a lower tariff meant that she was always going to struggle through the rest of these 3 rounds. Didn't quite hit with her 3.2, so dropped outside the top 12. Back 2.5 then for 2.9.
It's really windy now.
Decent entry, decent dive from the Ukraine diver.
Yeah, there was a slow wind gushing around, and then suddenly a very hard breeze, and then she waited and then jumped, and it was a good job that she did that. So fine, back 2.5.
And a decent score, 62.35. That certainly keeps her on track. And that's all you can ask for, really, just to be in position to attack on the last 2 rounds. Korja at the moment is certainly in position in 12. In the 2.5 from her.
Yeah, looking at the average, if you can be around 180 or 185 after this round, then you've got a good chance of being in the final.
Nice. Great entry from Korja.
Yeah, it's really good. Be easily within that target with that dive. Look at that. Good line up, saw the water, didn't panic. There's a springy jump off the ankles. Divers work that separately in the gym. Ankle snapping up quickly.
Yes, that's good stuff. 70 marks then from Maria Korja. May climb a place or 2. Problems with the arm stand dive for Marina of France in the last round. Back to more familiar territory. 2.9 on the degree of difficulty. And She's another diver that goes 2.9, 2.7, 2.9, so not in the threes across these final 3 rounds. These have to be really good dives.
Yeah, she's slightly off the pace by about 8 points.
That's more like it. Very good.
Yeah, now because she was back slightly in 14th place, if she can squeeze high 60s out of the judges, then she's still in with a chance to make top 12. That was a really good jump into the pike, finished very high, and you could see she's in control all the time, using her eyes, spotting the first somersault. Chin comes up, looks over the top of toes, and then she would have seen the diving board.
69.60, that's the right sort of direction for the French diver. And 12 out of the 18 can go through from this semi-final. Roselyn Fillon with a fantastic second round dive to put herself into the top 3. And 3.5 then for the Canadian. No, that's not good from Roselyn.
No, another one that she's missed. It went as low as 41 points in the prelims. Might get a little bit more than that, but clearly she came out too late. Here's the triple. Should be out already. She's not. And then rolls over. Causes quite a lot of splash. Don't like the tuck position. Could have the feet together. Slightly better than the prelims.
But only just, and 51.20. So that's trouble. If she misses again, that's a problem for Fillon. She was in a bit of bother in the prelims, but recovered well. Ginot. Just ticking along at the moment, the North Korean diver. Position, can't afford an error. And definitely can't afford that.
That's a real shame. At this same point in the prelim, she was in 23rd place, and then after nailing this dive, she'd moved up into the top 12. Here she's in 6th position, and after doing this dive, she's going to drop right back down the field, the opposite direction. Too early kick out, and couldn't even pull the dive around. She tries to reach back, but just runs out of room.
And for those of you new to diving, kick out that Chris refers to, the point at when you see the diver's body go straight, that's when the rotation is slowed or stopped, allowing the diver to line up to go into the water for a clean entry. Kim didn't do that, or did do it, but did it too early, and rotation slowed, and therefore sub 40 points. So Kim Ginok under pressure now. Mexican divers and fans watch on as Orozco attempts to recover her situation in the 3.5, gradually getting better. Oh, a little flutter of the feet showed she was in trouble, and unfortunately a lot of splash being thrown up.
A great acrobatic ability though. Good takeoff, spinning fast, finishing high, and that's what you saw from the side. The feet were apart in the tuck position, and then you saw the movement of them going together as she went for her entry.
Oh dear, yeah, 49.60 at Orozco. It's not going well. And the story of the first 2 rounds so far. Sarah Barrow and Tonya Couch of Great Britain. Barrow in second. Couch leads. And Great Britain, Tom Daly and all. Watch on. Easy, you can just hear it now on the platform microphones. Not a problem for dives like that, but the arm stand dives will be an issue.
Yeah, the wind itself isn't a problem, but it's when there are gusts. Well, this is better than the prelims. Praying she jumped forward. She's feeling comfortable here now. A little bit more time to grab her hands, and Andy, her coach, will definitely take that dive. What a pike. Brilliant position there. Hardly any gap at all. Oh, the marks are down for it.
Yeah, just
And he's just saying you need to be slightly tighter on the end. Technically, very good dive.
I think the entries are getting a lot of attention from the judges today. Again, forward 3.5, but this time from Betancourt. We'll also see it from the leader Couch to follow this dive. And that's good from Betancourt.
Well, that was a similar entry to Sarah Barron. She went 61 points. Technically about the same. Be interesting to see if the judges score it any higher.
Prokopchuk style pike.
That's right.
And coach is delighted. Genuine delight, I can tell you, not just trying to shout it up a bit. 67.50, much higher than Sarah Barrow's score. Tony Couch then, first position after 2 rounds, ahead of the defending world champion and the Chinese world #1, Chen and Su, respectively. Well, really attacked that one, Chris. Just seemed to chop it off a little bit at the top of the dive, but got a good entry.
Yeah, she's on form though, isn't she? She's been consistent in the last 3 rounds, so I think she's going to score well. It's definitely worth more than Venezuelan, who got 67 points, so this should score 70 points. We'll see, though.
He's getting carried away there.
And so he should be pleased, look.
70.50. Very good from Tonya Couch. This is a superb series of diving so far. And Andy Banks, her coach, absolutely delighted. You can have a bit of fun in the semi-final. I think he'll get serious when it comes to the next round, because that looks like where Barrow and Couch are going. Now, Tatsumi, big miss in the last round. That's just about done it for her day. Diving for pride now. And unfortunately, pride will be dented after that.
Yeah, hitting the water on the shoulders, it actually knocked her head forward. The impact of the water. Jumps good. She's out far too early and then hits the water, and she stops dead.
41.25. Good semi-final. Similar situation, not a great dive from her in the last round, so needs to be good across these closing 3, or she will be in trouble as well. Drop down to 15th place. No, and a miss from May. So both Japanese divers in trouble here.
And diving like this, that's why she missed out of the final in the last Olympics and also the last World Championships. Just not consistent. She can do the dives, but when it comes that she's under pressure, kicks out in the wrong places, misses her entries. The coach has seen it all before.
She looks so assured though in the prelims.
Yeah, she qualified in 6th place.
And Kozad with Victoria Lamp going along nicely. 2 Japanese look like they're going to miss out on top 12, but 2 Americans and the 2 British and the 2 Chinese comfortably inside the qualification zone.
This is a very difficult dive, a reverse 3.5 somersaults.
And too short.
Yeah, she needs to work on the start. Very slow with the arms. She's relying on squeezing the tuck to get around. Here, it's just too slow. Now, she should have finished that double another metre higher. And when she gets around on the triple part of the somersault, not enough time to kick your feet up and get your hands back for the water.
Well, she gave it her best shot, but 47.85, that changes everything. Keeps Kozad in the battle for a top 12 place. Prokopchuk then. 2.9. Then she goes into 3.3, 3.2. So she has a strong finish after this slightly lower DD. And that's a miss as well for Prokopchuk.
Well, that's completely the wrong out. I mean, she let go of her legs and her arms came over the top of her head and she just drops very short. Fine at this point. It's just the out. Again, I'm not sure that she's seeing the water. I think that's more of the guess. Otherwise, she wouldn't miss it by so much.
That's the coach's guess face, I'm afraid. 34.80, and Prokopchuk puts herself back in the mix for top 12. Dramatic third round here in Barcelona. Now then, same dive from Chen, Pang and Se to finish off with.
Well, she needs to go 83.75 to go ahead of Tonya Couch, who has a massive lead at the moment.
And the breeze has moved from blowing to the back of the building to blowing across the top of this platform. It's not much fun up there at the moment for the arm stand. And even Chen just looking a touch shaky, but that's easily her best entry, Chris.
Yeah, I think she's realising now that she has to fire up a bit more. Good flick off, into the twist, looks at the water, locks out. I'm not sure that's an 83 dive, but she might have clawed back a few more points to stop the British running away so far with their dives.
76.80. So does gain a bit of ground on the leaders. Chen just slots in between Tonya Couch and Sarah Barrow in the top three. What can Pang and Se offer in that direction? Same dive, remember, from Pang and then Se with the arm stand. And now, as you can see from the Spanish flag, just to the left of your picture, that breeze is blowing directly into the diver.
I bet they wish they did their arm stands earlier. Need 75 points to go into the lead.
Pang not hanging about just in case, and she's ripped the entry.
Yeah, that's going to be high 70s, maybe even 80. Entry is spectacular. There's the flick off. Good twist. Yeah, she's certainly got the water in time.
Oh, wow. 81.60. Pang repairing the damage after that miss in the last round. Moves herself into third position. Yaji. This arm stand. Now, this could be an issue here for this young lady. If that breeze picks up again, as Chris said, there's not much of it. Easy to blow around up there on the 10-metre platform. Nicely done. Well, the breeze did drop away, just that flattening of the feet as she tried to line it up.
Yeah, watching the push-off, that is good. Locks out. Oh, just that small roll over the end. That entry might just stop her moving to the top of the pack. Just a little bit loose in the feet as she goes around. Can't see it at this point.
It's minute though, isn't it? 76.80. Judges having to tread a very fine line here. Se takes over from Chen in second position. Chen back into third. Pang at the moment just outside the top three, and then Couch leading. Barrow in fifth. Great Britain still putting on a really superb performance here. Filion drops from third down to sixth after her miss, and then going back down through the list. Kim just hanging on in the top 12. Krasnoshlik did herself a lot of favours there. She's still in, but the divers below them, Kozad and Prokopchuk and Broben and Orozco, all outside that top 12.
The more you share experiences, the greater they become.
Live the World Swimming Championships with EDF, proud partner of swimming.
Welcome back for round 4. Victoria Lamp to get things underway for the USA, diving very well. And, oh, such a shame. When you get a tall diver that comes out like that, it does look very, very good. But you've got to hit the dive as well.
I think that she should start working on the back 3.5. She's very acrobatic, and you can go for it. Here you have to judge the rotation, because it's only 2.5 somersaults. Spinning too fast, you can't stop the dive, and under 50 points. That's a shame.
Now, this is instant problems for Tori Lamp. Broben is in trouble as well for Australia. What sort of marks are we looking at top 12 here, Chris?
Well, I would normally say 300 to get into the top 12. I'm actually going to revise that down. You might get into the top 12 at around 292 or 295.
That's what Broben has to be targeting. She's not going well, though, today. And I'm afraid it is not getting any better for Brittany Broben.
Yeah, she just seems very, very slow on everything. I mean, Olympic silver medal, and she's not diving like anything that she looked like when she was in London last year. Yeah, it's just very slow, little open on the tuck, and she just runs out of room yet again.
Frustrating. 59.40. And unfortunately for Brittany Broben, getting very close to an exit here from this tournament. Osnaschluck done pretty much what she did in qualification from the prelims. She just kept steadily moving through her dives, not making a massive amount of errors, picking up the points, and it's kept her in good stead so far. She's on that bubble in 12th. Again, gets it down, it's solid, it'll score.
Yeah, just slightly out late, but it does look good, doesn't it? Confident jump. That's a really good jump off the platform. There, she kicks out at 7.5 meters. Does a little save on the end. That's where she bends her legs as she goes through the water. Should be over 60 points, I should think. Oh, no.
No, the judges are keeping their powder dry in this semi-final. Very, very tough. She's on the slightest of errors.
Yeah, she's on target for only about 290.
The pressure grows with every round. It can only be 12 from this 18. Courgeot. She has managed to advance by 1 position, was in 12th at the end of the last round. Moved up to 11, a bit of a miss there in terms of the entry, but may not do herself too much harm with this one.
So again, confident off the diving board, good pike position, spots well. Yeah, we're just seeing there a slight arch in the back, and if she'd got rid of that, you wouldn't see the feet. Just do that final little kick over.
55.10. 247.20. Courgeot will have to see how those around her go. Laura Marino, 10th position. Great last round for Marino. Another one of these divers that does have the ability to really nail those entries, just like the Chinese, just like Tonya Couch. Can she do it again here? Oh, got decent height, didn't she, off the platform, and then you see how much time that gives you at the end of the dive. That looked very good.
Yeah, I like this dive. Jumps up in the air, then into a tight tuck position. That's good. Now she pikes out, looks, and then lines up. And no mistake there on the entry.
Excellent dive from the young Frenchwoman. 60.75. Will maintain a solid challenge for a top 12 finish. Now, Filion. We've got arm stands through this round, but that'll be the last of our arm stand dives. The 5th round is all about twisting. A lot of twisters there. So we'll see Filion, and we've got Betancourt, Couch, and Prokopchuk with the arm stand, and very tentatively into that. Breeze has dropped away again. And Filion just about gets away with that one. One of the divers, one of the big name divers that is having a bit of a problem staying top 12.
Yeah, this was her highest scoring dive in the prelims, went 74 points. She may get something close to that again. Small arch going through the water, kicks out at the right time.
Yeah, I think she'll be fine after this one. Yes, indeed. 67.65 for 263.45. That's Filion comfortably back inside the zone. And then Kim Jin-ok didn't do ourselves any favours after the last round, dropped down to 11th position. And the arm stand, just one of those rounds that you have to get through. It's not a round where you make advancements, it's a round where you try and limit damage and get the score that you would normally get in training. Ooh, a wobble, and straight away there was no hold on that arm stand, and a messy finish from Kim Jin-ok.
Yeah, we'll see average scores because of that. I wonder if the wind was a factor there. Into the twist, feet a little crossed over, and just rolls the entry. Goes very low there, almost touches the end of the board before she flicks off. Body bent here, needs to be flatter, straighter, so she can get into the twist a little earlier.
62 marks then. Not as bad as it could have been. Roscoe, one of the star names, is having some real problems in this semi-final. About 3.5 for her, currently residing in 16th place, but 3.3 on the tariff. This is the dive that could repair the damage. Oh, she really went for it, didn't she? Lovely stuff from the Mexican.
Yeah, I was looking at the score. She needs to go at least 65 points on this to get her up into the top 12. Good jump, spots well here, kicks at the right time, just enough time to reach back and lock out. At 3.3, she'll be in the 60s.
Oh, 72.60, Roscoe back in business. Sarah Barrow and Tonya Couch flying the flag for Great Britain in this semi-final. Women's 10-metre platform here in Barcelona. 5th position, but has been as high as 2nd. Couch still leads. Oh, and just let that one wash over, unfortunately.
Yeah, just missing a little bit. She'll be through to the final, though, and there, after the experience of doing a prelims and a semi-finals, she can just get rid of the arch on the kick-out. She'll get that rotation stopped dead for a vertical entry.
33.75. She has been absolutely hammered for that, Chris.
Oh, really harsh, aren't they?
Well, that is tough. I mean, that's 2 rounds where Sarah Barrow has had a score that has been way down. That's tough on the Brit.
Yeah, let's put her behind the German.
Betancourt then. Going along reasonably well for Venezuela, just outside the qualification places.
Oh, she's losing it.
Well, good recovery, very good recovery in the end from the Venezuelan diver.
Yeah, very strong arms, and especially the hands and the fingers. She pulled that back. She was gonna step down on the board. But once in the air, good dive.
Betancourt will have done herself a few favours there. Should be back in it.
Well, that's a good technique for the half twist. The arms came right over the top of the head. And trained well there.
59.40 for 252.25. Betancourt is definitely back in business as well. So a few repairs being made here by some of the divers that haven't dived as well early. Tonya Couch. would love to finish as close to top position as she can. Every diver wants to be diving last in the final, so you know what you've got to do.
She has a 6-point cushion at the moment over seat.
Got a good push away, got a very good entry, and Tonya Couch continues the form through round 4.
Yeah, sharp all the way around on the previous 3 rounds. Didn't make any mistakes. Good technique, finishes high, looking at the water. Just could have rolled fraction earlier to pull those feet back. But she's going to finish right up there. There's the action into the twist.
Oh dear, as much strain on her face. That shows that she got a good push away, and it's a good score. 73.60. And Chris, this is setting a foundation with the judges, isn't it? For later on, for the final tomorrow.
Yeah, the psychology going into the final, the judges know that if you're in the top 4, you will be at the back end of the pack.
That's a nicely finished dive. Tatsumi letting that one flow, moving away from the board all the time, but that's one of her better dives today.
Certainly is. She was disappointed, qualified in 8th place. Well, actually qualified in 7th place and just missed most of her dives up to this point. That's better though, 63.
Don't think it's going to help her cause. Unless Nagaka thought really good chance of top 12, but unfortunately probably blown it with the last couple of rounds. Or has she? Great dive.
Well, you never know. She's down some 18 points on my prediction of the getting into the 300s. She'll need to go on her last dive, back twister in the 80s, but that may be possible. Good reverse 2.5. Distance was right from the board, spinning fast.
62.35.
Not sure it'll be quite enough though.
No, I think Nakagawa still a likely candidate for an exit in this round. Amelia Kozad then, next up for the USA. Ranking 13 after a disappointing round. Can she pull it back together? No, a miss again, I'm afraid, so Kozad in trouble.
Yeah, no, we didn't expect that. This is a high-scoring dive in the prelim. She nearly went 80 points on it. She nailed the entry, and she's going for it here. Fast spin, but kicks out too early and just drops really short. So she could be out.
Oh, what a shame. Sub 40, then sub 50, and it will not help Amelia's cause. And this young lady didn't help her cause in the last round, Lilia Prokopchuk of Ukraine. A real struggle. And needs to find it on this arm stand to at least build a foundation going in with her last round twister. 3.3 on the tariff. That's okay from Prokopchuk, so that should push her back up towards top 12.
Yeah, needs to get at least 70 points on it. That's the way to jump off your hands. Looks, kicks, tight with his hands, squeezing the ears as she goes through the water. If she can get anything close to 70 points, she is still in with a chance to make the top 12. Strain there on her face as she's trying to squeeze those knees into the chest.
Yeah, good stuff. It was close to 70, and it has put her back in contention. Should be in 12th position if the next 3 divers dive as expected. So Prokopchuk also back in business for Ukraine. And Ukraine have Prokopchuk and Krasnoshlik. Another country with 2 divers in the semi. And Chen just continues as she has done in previous rounds. There's something missing at the moment from Chen Rulin's diving. She's got the rest of this round today, and then she's got a little bit of time leading into the final tomorrow to sort it out.
Yeah, certainly. Just everything, there's just something missing, isn't there? Maybe she had a long break after the Olympics. She didn't do as many in the many competitions in the World Series, and that could take the edge or the sharpness away from your dive.
No problem with Pang's sharpness at all. Fourth position at the moment for the Malaysian diver. The only thing that's kept her off that top three is the fact that Tonya Couch has put a fantastic series of dives together. And Couch still leads for Great Britain, just ahead of Chen. And a miss from Pang.
Again, she's going at it like she's in the final. It's only a semi-final. Could be a bit more relaxed, and then the entries will come. Good start, not too close, finishes high, out late, and then misses the entry. So good action there. You can tell she's an experienced diver, Olympic medalist.
43.20. That's not good at all for Pang. So it keeps her up there around about the podium area. But see, it can bump her down another spot into fifth. Can she overtake Couch? Second position at the moment. Back 3.5 then. Oh, and she's missed that one. Oh dear.
Big miss. She needed 78.2 to go ahead of Couch, and she's actually going to be moving right down.
Let's see what the judges do here, Chris. Let's see if they're as tough.
Well, it's only going to score 40, surely. Out too early, and there's nothing you can do.
Consternation, bemusement from the Chinese coaching staff. And there you go, 44.55 for the world #1. That's a shock. Lots a few seeds of doubt there. Couch continues to dive brilliantly and leads the Olympic and world champion Chen Rulin. Nearly 3 points. See, moving herself into third position, just ahead of Filion and Pang, and then going all the way down. Prokopchuk and Krasnoshlik doing themselves a favour with good dives in that last round. They are 11 and 12. Welcome back. Tori Lamb. Under pressure for the USA, but I tell you what, that's a cracking twister to finish with. We're going to keep an eye on those scores as they come in. But Lamb has given herself a chance here of making top 12.
Yeah, a real chance. She jumped, good position, no problem with her feet, and I think it could be enough to get her into that final. Qualified in 18th place, has done well on all of her dives. It's been tough for her, and this is a great final dive. And the DD, it's going to be in the 70s.
Yes, indeed. 78.40. 3:12.25. So Lamp moves into top spot. It all becomes about now how many of the remaining 17 can get past her. For Brittany Broban, what a tough day it's been. It was buzzing yesterday, then it all went wrong in the 1 metre, and she just hasn't recovered since then. I think she'll just be happy for the competition to be over and go away and rebuild. And she could be another big-name casualty in a day of big-name casualties. A fantastic finish, but is it going to be enough?
Yeah, 3.2. Just never know what the other diver's going to do, so she's really going to have to rely on them. Good finish, feet just slightly untidy, but I reckon she'll have to be over 290 to have any chance.
And she's just under it. Very good finish for 72, but too many mistakes, I'm afraid, from Broban. So 287.30 as her overall final total. Coach knows exactly when to leave well alone. Krasnoshlik in 12, Prokopchuk in 11. Ukraine still with a golden opportunity to put 2 in the final. Oh, just fell into that finish, but it was all clean and tidy from Krasnoshlik.
Yeah, she just needs to be steady. A slightly lower degree of difficulty at 2.9. Good twist, twisting first. Just a little bit here, head down, and goes loose with the body. Oh, I'm not sure they'll score that well.
Oh, it's better than Broban. 60.90, but 294.75 is probably going to be on the line. Doesn't look good for the Australian. She gets shunted down another position. Dutch and Rulin already up there and already looking guaranteed of qualification. Courgeot still with work to do. Another twister, back twister for the German. 3.2, good degree of difficulty this one. Very whippy start. That got around in plenty of time to line it up for the finish, and Courgeot finishes strong.
Yeah, and she was in 7th place, so just needs 50 points or so, and it's going to score a lot higher than that. 3.2. Yeah, locks out well on the entry, and the judges are scoring the entry, so I know she's going to be safe.
Big smile from Courgeot. We got a new leader. She takes over from Victoria Lamp in top spot on 3:17.60. Job done for Maria. Laura Marino dives herself back into 9th position. Got a couple of very good entries. Another twister, but 2.9 on the degree of difficulty.
2.5 somersaults, 1 twist.
Choosing to do the twist first up, and came out of it very nicely to get into the summit.
Yeah, we said earlier you can twist first or do the somersault first. Good way to control this dive, but now the feet just apart, but she corrects it. Good pike position and a fine line up. She'll be very safe. Just slightly lower degree of difficulty.
Yeah, that should be plenty. 303.25 for Laura. If she can just sort that arm stand out for the final, then she could be in business. Roselyne Fillon. Kept Coach Chavez on his toes today. Been very inconsistent as Fillon, but fortunately from her point of view, she's dived some of the higher tariff dives very well. And that's produced a couple of big scores to keep her in contention. Should be a comfortable qualification. And Fillon is off to tomorrow's final.
Yeah, it certainly is. I wonder if any of the judges just pick up the entry where she slightly over-twisted. 1.5 twist, that's fine. Pike, that's fine. Looking at the water, though, just the second foot just started to drift around. I don't think the judges will see it. Should be in the 60s for that. Jeez.
64, right bang in the middle. Well, nearly. 3:27.45, new leader. And another athlete through to the final. Kim Jinok, not done yet, this job. Got to hit this twister to finish strongly. Same dive as we saw from Fillon. We'll see the same dive from Orozco to follow, Barrow and Betancourt. So quite a lot for the judges to think about here.
55 points would get ahead of the Ukrainian diver.
Oh, messy feet as she came away from the board, and a very messy finish as well.
Well, she could go less than 294. Well, yeah, didn't extend off the platform with that jump, and everything was going wrong there.
This could be a problem.
She was in 10th place.
It is 51.20, 291.90. So less than Korjo at 294.75. Sorry, Krasnoshlik at 294.75. Marginally ahead of Broban, though. Same twisting dive now from Orozco of Mexico. 14th position, but not out of it.
No, she's got a real opportunity now. She can just go 65 points on this. She has a shot at it.
Oh, it was all about getting that rip entry, and she did. Great adjustment, Chris, to hang on for that one.
Yeah, she didn't twist too early. She got the jump off the diving board. That is a good jump. Very fast twist. Good pike position. Now she has plenty of time to lock out. And, boy, she needs about 65 points. That's going to be a 70-point dive. Really good entry.
Held her nerve on that one, did Alejandro. Mexico can breathe easy, can it? Yes, there we go. 300.10. Great dive. Sarah Barrow, not quite as ebullient as she was earlier in this competition. Slipped out of the top 3. She was as high as second at one point, down to 8. But let's be honest, she's been hit hard by the judges on a couple of scores. I'm sure Tom Daly will agree with us. And that has cost her. So down to 8th, still work to do. Same dive. And that'll be fine for Sarah Barrow. And overall, Chris, she'll feel very happy with this 5-dive programme.
Yeah, and I think that being at least some point in the competition in second place, seeing your name up on that big scoreboard, they'll give her confidence, and she'll go into the final thinking, well, I can be up there. I just need to tighten up those feet on my twisting dives and just need to work on my entries a little bit more. And in a few hours' time in the final, that's what I'm going to do.
Yes, very good. 3:16.05. I can confirm then that Sarah Barrow, Maria Korjo and Roselyne Fillon, definite qualifiers. The rest have to wait. Betancourt looking nervous. Same dive as we've seen from Fillon, Kim, Orozco, Barrow. Now she has to find similar sort of form here.
So she's 6 points ahead of Barrow before this dive.
Yeah, great stuff. Good start, and then got it round well. A little bit splashy on entry, but that should be fine for Betancourt.
Yeah, just that little looseness in the back as she goes through the water. Here, very fast twist, strong pulling into that pike. I like that. Just there. As she hits the water, the body buckles a little bit. So she'll be in the 60s rather than the 70s.
And she's indeed 3:14.65. So finishes just below Barrow. But we get another qualifier. Betancourt is definitely through. Can't be beaten by those below her. Now, Tonya Couch looking for the perfect finish to what has been a perfect semi-final. Reverse 2.5 then for Tonya. Perfectly safe, beautiful entry, and 5 wonderful dives from the British number 1.
Yeah, that was a great dive to finish. Reverse 2.5 type, slightly low on the degree of difficulty. But boy, does she do it well. Kick out, wait, reach back, wait, and then squeeze as she goes through the water. She'll be close to 370 points.
Well, if you'd offered her 350 plus at the start of the day, she'd have bitten your hand off. Look at that. 68.85 for 368.15. Couch definitely through. Will she go through as the number 1? Brilliant performance from both the British pair. Fuka Tatsumi, she and compatriot Nagakawa have had a really tough time in this semi, unfortunately. And finishes on a high note, fortunately for Fuka.
Yeah, good one to finish, but she's just so many points behind. So not going to see the final today, but look at that tuck. Excellent, and the squeeze out at the right time. Just needed to be like that on the rest of the dives.
So no place, unfortunately, in the final for Fuka Tatsumi. Already out of that top 12, and divers still to come. 17th position for Nagakawa. Same twister that we saw from those 5 athletes in the middle part of this draw. Good finish from Nagakawa, but as Chris said, it's 295 really or nothing.
Yeah. Well, good jump, fantastic twist. Did mention earlier that she's the diver that has the head in the right position for the twist, so she never wobbles. Just slightly inconsistent.
Well, she's going to be out of the top 12, I'm afraid, from a Japanese point of view. They've lost both their divers in this semi-final. And she will be disappointed with that. 272.05 overall. She finishes outside the top 12. Amelia Kozad made things difficult for herself. She and Victoria Lamp were inside the top 12 at one point. Only Victoria in there at the moment. Kozad has to be really good with this one for any chance at all. That's a pretty good finish. That's a lovely rip entry. That'll give the judges something to think about.
Now, if she can get into the 70s with this, she does have a chance. So she's going to be chasing 294. If she gets 294, she may, only just may.
Oh, look at that, 76.80. Chris Snowd has his crystal ball out once again. And Amelia Kozad might just have pulled one out of the hat, just below Krasnoshlik at the moment. So it is going to be tight. Prokopchuk to dive. It's ended up a very high quality semi-final, this one. Krasnoshlik, 10th position at the moment. Prokopchuk outside that top 12. For so long in this competition, but should be surely comfortably home here.
Yeah, just a small rollover, but she was in 11th place. There's a high degree of difficulty. Yeah, she's only gone over a fraction, so she'll get reasonable scores. At 3.2, she should be safe.
Dropped horribly outside the top 12, dived herself back in to 11th position in the 4th round. And she's hung on in the final round. 3:02.40. Prokopchuk definitely qualified. So we've got Orozco, Prokopchuk, Marino, Lamp, Betancourt, Barrow, Kojo, Filion and Couch through. Chen will now join them. We'll see the same back twister from Chen, Pang and Se, which will bump everybody down. And it's going to get very tight for that 12th position.
So 71.70 to go ahead of Tonya Couch.
Beautiful dive. What a beautiful dive in the final round. At last, she's hit an entry.
It took 5 rounds to do it. Great jump. Look at that pike. No other diver's been able to do that pike after doing 1.5 twists. And that's why she's the Olympic champion and the reigning world champion. But she does have to sharpen up in the finals.
Well, should get her ahead of Couch. Beautiful finish from Chen Rulin for a beautiful score, 76.80, 373.65 overall, and she nudges Couch down into 2nd position, shaping up for a very good fight in the final. That means Orozco now qualified down in 10th, and Krasnoshlik looking like she's going to miss out here along with Kozad. So Pang and Se to come for Malaysia, then China. Super finish from Pang, just a little short with that one, but it's building up to be a very nice contest in this final.
Yeah, just misjudged the entry. Good twist, pulls forward. She was currently, or she was in 5th place. She'll drop back a little bit, but she'll safely be in the top 12. But that might push the American out of the top 12. Yeah, very good on that first section. See the push off the board.
Yeah, Kozad and Krasnoshlik now gone if see just records a score here, and then she will be through, and the top 12 will finish at Orozco of Mexico. So see if she can get ahead of Couch. Beautiful finish again, and China saving their best till last.
Well, it's going to be a terrific final. Sort of just a few misses in the prelims, but this is a good dive, and I know it could be even better in the final. Another good pull in, locking out, small kick over on the end. Just to think, we hadn't seen her, or never seen eyes on her at all, until just 4.5 months ago.
It's tough for the other international divers, isn't it? Turning up to these competitions, and then the latest model rolls off the production line from the Chinese diving coaches.
And just 14 years of age.
Amazing stuff. Great future ahead. Third position for the moment after this semi-final. 3:41.85 overall. So it's Tonya Couch instead of Pang that gets in between the two Chinese divers this time. But it's a flip from the Chinese divers. Say was leading coming into this semi-final. She now goes to third. Chen Rulin, the defending champion, the Olympic champion, takes over in top spot. But a superb performance across the board from our medal contenders. That is a very high-class semi-final. Chen Rulin through, along with Couch and Filion of Calendar, Cujo of Germany, Barrow of Great Britain. So 2 Brits, 2 Chinese in that top 6. Then it's Betancourt for Venezuela, Pang for Malaysia, Lamp gets in for the USA, Marino hangs on for 10th, Prokopchuk in 11th, and it's Orozco that disappoints everybody else. And Chris, 300 was indeed that score to get into the top 12 in the end. And those are the 6 that I'm afraid we say goodbye to at this stage. Broban in there, that's a big shock. What a cracking semi-final. That sets it up for tomorrow's final.
It certainly does. And I was just looking at the scores, and Chen Rulin won the Olympic Games on 422 points. That's nearly, what's that, 49 points more than she just scored there.
Well, we expect to see standards go up yet again, and we'll have coverage of that final tomorrow. But we start tomorrow in the morning with the men's 3-metre preliminaries, individual competition. We'll follow that on like we've done today with the semi-finals, this time with the men's 3 metres, and then the women's 10-metre platform final. What should be a fantastic dust-up for the medals. Will it be China, or can somebody spoil the party and take it away from them tomorrow in that final? That's it for our coverage today. Thank you very much for your company. We hope you've enjoyed it. From myself, Simon Golding, and Chris Snowball, say goodbye. Enjoy your evening with us here on Eurosport. We will see you tomorrow.
Live the World Swimming Championships with EDF, proud partner of swimming.
Diving sensation Tom Daley aims to repeat his astonishing feat of 4 years ago.
Tom Daley is the world champion on the 10-metre platform.
Diving World Championships, men's 10-metre platform, Saturday from 9 AM, live on British Eurosport HD. £189. That's how low our car insurance prices start from for great drivers like you with 5 years no-claim discount. Because LV guarantee that your NCD will be a whacking 75%. For car insurance from a which recommended provider mind from as little as £189. Call our lovely people on 0800 656 656 or go to lv.com.